Hello and welcome to today's Kineo office hours. Today we are going to be talking about embed close questions. For those of you that are a little thrown off, my name is Alex Carrick. I am one of the new platforms consultants here at Kineo. So for those of you that were expecting Taylor, she's still around. And we work closely together to make sure that we can deliver training to all of our clients on Totara and other solutions. So, like I mentioned, today our topic is embed close questions. We have a very simple agenda on what is an embed close question and then how to create them. Embed close questions are a great tool you can use within your quiz module that allows you to do a few different things than a normal, say, multiple choice question. One of the setbacks when it comes to embed close questions is it takes just a little bit of programming, but I promise it's not that much work. You pretty much just follow a basic formula to get it to do what you want. So to give you an example, so I've created a quiz in a demo site. So this would be a typical fill in the blank type question. You write your question, you use underscores to denote that that's what the word you're trying to fill is, and then you're able to select your answer. So for example, your user would then just go through and select, and they would be able to complete the question that way. So that's a simple multiple choice question. To move towards what an embed close question looks like, what it allows you to do is it allows you to embed that multiple choice process directly into the question. So for example, it's the exact same fill in the blank, but instead of the 4 answers, you're able to create and populate the dropdown that a user can select from. So once I do that, I can go through, and that's the most basic way that we can implement this. So just to let you know, if you're taking notes, these answers are not automatically shuffled. So as you're creating them, you'll put them in this particular order. So for instance, you don't always want to put the correct answer first, but I'll touch on that when we start showing how to go over these. So the next example I want to show is that we have our exact same question, exact same embedded answers. Through the embed close question, you're also able to have direct feedback based on their answer. So if we didn't pick up the correct answer to this is Fox. So if I were to choose an incorrect answer, and if I'm using an immediate feedback option within my quiz, when I go to check, it's not going to give me that till after. But depending on your settings in your quiz, you can have it where depending on the answer, it will tell you whether it is right or wrong or whatever sentence or instructions you want to provide. It also allows for a great opportunity for users that have multiple times to try to get something right. So you are able to kind of provide those little hints and whatnot as you go through your question. And the last example is, so we've been using the regular embed here, and I chopped up the sentence a little bit more to show that not only do you have the option of just the drop-down box, you can also use the vertical multiple choice as well as the horizontal multiple choice. The question type does also provide the opportunity to do fill in the blank as well. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, there's a lot of different facets within this question type. So for example, this question has 3 different questions built into it. So you are able to work a little bit more and have some flexibility on points and grading for exactly what you want to do. For example, if you wanted to set up a matching question, you could have a few answers of matching and then just have drop-down boxes next to each one. So definitely something to play around with if you have a little bit of time and some interest. So now I want to show you, probably helps if I answer my own question. There we go. And when I click next, so for example, when we go through, you'd be able to see what is correct and incorrect out of those. Once we, let's see, I want to take you to see what these questions look like. So we're going to go ahead and edit this quiz. And we're going to edit our questions. All right. So at the most basic, let's take a look at this. So your question is going to look like it has a little bit of, the first one's not the one I wanted. So the question is going to look like it has a little bit of coding attached to it. So the coding is very simple in the sense that you have your regular sentence that you would create for your question text. And then this aspect right here is the embed close portion. So you tell the system that these are going to be your answers by starting with a open brace. Brace being the squiggly bracket at the beginning of this area. Right after the brace, you're going to put a number, and that number is going to signify how many points that question is worth. And that's followed by a colon. And then MC is short for multiple choice. You have your option there. This is where you would put your question type. So MC is the basic embedded drop-down multiple choice. If you wanted to do those horizontal or vertical alignments like we showed in the last question, it would be MCH for horizontal, MCV for vertical, and there's a few other question types as well. That's followed by another colon, so that's telling it that, okay, we have this is going to be our embed close section. You open the brace, it's worth 1 point. This is the question type. Now we need to fill it with answers. So like I mentioned earlier, this will not necessarily be shuffled by default, so that it's always going to show in this order. So you'll see that the equal sign is what denotes the correct answer, and all the other answers are separated by tildes. So you can have as many or as few potential answers as you would like. You know, you could set up a true and false question with 2 answers. You could have a whole slew of multiple answers with varying points attached to them. There's a lot of flexibility within the question type, which is what people really enjoy about using it for those that have had success with it. So that was the basic question. I'll go ahead and show you the more difficult one that I set up as an example that has the 3 different sets. So it's still just our regular sentence, and every time we want to input a place for users to put in answers, it's a different set within the braces. So you'll see we have our multiple choice, we have our multiple choice vertical, and our multiple choice horizontal. So that is the long and short of the embed close question. Wanted to keep it nice and simple. Within the YouTube video description, we'll put the link to the documentation that has some more information on this if you're interested in giving this a try on your own. So we appreciate you coming to office hours and listening and learning a little bit more about Totara, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future.